thought that was an awesome video for Coach Dakota, our new number one.
Right.
He's been on fire lately. I get he and I, we message each other throughout the day, mostly end of day, and every end of day I look at my messages from him, and he's like, made 16 grand today, made 6 grand today, made this, made that. I'm like, Jesus, you are lights out.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. It's awesome that we've got one of our in-house coaches who's in the number one spot now. These spots are always fluctuating, but I'm cheering him on. So I hope he stays in the number one spot. If you guys have worked with Dakota, if you've listened to him on TopstepTV, give him a like right now. Do give him a like because he's an awesome guy and definitely somebody to follow. We were talking about it yesterday, John. Anytime you have an opportunity to work with someone or speak with someone who knows more than you about what they're doing, you're in a good place. I've mentioned, John, you've been one of those guys for me. Definitely have more knowledge than I do, more experience to share. It's those people like yourself, like Dakota, Coach DBA, like Isaac Rivera, who was on yesterday, who offered himself up. Do talk to those people. So if you've worked with any of those people or listened to anything, give them a like. We got good people on here. Speaking of good people, today's a special day for me. It's my cousin's birthday, 2 of my cousins, actually. So I want to give a birthday shout out to Maria and Amy. Gina's Maria's sister. My bad. Maria, happy birthday. Amy, happy birthday. Shout outs to you too. Hey, thank you, Eddie. Gosh, I feel my face getting red after botching the name for the birthday today. Anyways, a couple other shout outs. One of our partners, Nicholas, made $12,000 yesterday trading their XFA. Another partner of ours, Tin Fam, made $5,000 yesterday. And I also, speaking of people we've got on TV, Coach Dakota, Isaac, I had such a nice phone call with Rips yesterday.
Nice.
What a genuinely nice guy. He and I haven't linked up on TopstepTV yet, which I want to make a change. I'd love to get in there and have a convo with him, you, Hogue. I always have FOMO when I've got TopstepTV on in the background and I hear you guys chatting, and I'm like, I wish I were there to join in the conversation. So, Rips, good talking to you yesterday. I'm not sure if you're watching right now, but really appreciate you. Anyways, more shout outs. Nick T, live account, up 7,000 today. Ronald S., one of our other top dogs, up 6,500 today. They have fallen down in the spots. I know their account balance isn't what it once was. Bit of a cold streak, but I always am happy when I see people that are on cold streaks snap those cold streaks, and $6,500 is the remedy for that. Aside of that, I think we'll just dive into the cards here. This has been an interesting week. We with the CPI earlier this week, I mentioned it was kind of a bloodbath, but we had some good stuff come out of it too. Overall, there were losses, but there were some people that caught the short side of that move. We'll talk about one of them here on the trading card, but I wanted to bring that up again because we've called up 21 people from the express funded accounts to live accounts this week, which is a lot.
That's good.
And that's, end of day yesterday. We do this stuff at the end of the day. It's end of day business after the trading session ends. But 21 call ups, I'm pretty proud of. And we've got a lot of good stuff. I can't talk about all of them here because we don't have, as much time as I'd like. But 21 call ups and only 13 live accounts offboarded. Many of which were actually on the wrong side of that CPI number earlier this week. So speaking of live traders, I did my public apology for Karis yesterday because I had referred to him as a her. Karis, he was doing back-to-back $12,000 winning days on his 2 first days in the live account. So up 24,000 on his first 2 days. I mentioned yesterday, I felt pretty good about that call up. I thought he was going to do another one, a hat trick, a three-peat, as us Chicagoans are very familiar with our old Chicago Bulls team of the 90s, the three-peat. But Karis was up 10,000 yesterday. I was hoping that they'd lock it in or hit 12,000 again. Anyways, didn't do that. They got on the wrong side of the market, and that $10,000 winning day turned into a $300 winning day. I want to talk about that because I've had similar examples going back to talking about Hughes, one of our live traders out of France, who had, gotten on the wrong side of FOMC and had $18,000 swing in about 5 minutes. I'm not shoulder tapping Karis at all. Yesterday being up 10,000 and ending the day up 300. A couple things. I'm very happy that they ended the day still positive. $300 is still
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Usually those big winning days turn into big losing days. They didn't let that happen. So it's a maturity thing. They called it quits, ended the day up 300. We've talked, I featured someone yesterday or the day before that had an average winning day of about $360, and you extrapolate that over the course of 200 sessions, 250 sessions in the year, we're talking, $70,000 a year or $90,000 a year on what they're taking in, only making 300. So I'm happy that Karis, shout out to you. You stopped at 300. You didn't go below zero. But there's always areas for improvement. And even with the best traders, there's areas for improvement. I would have
100%.
loved to have seen, and John, you'll probably, we'll be talking the same language here. If you're up 10 grand on the day, you should lock in a large percentage of those profits. We haven't talked about this in a while on Shoulder Tap, but if you're up 10 grand, keep 80%, keep 80%, keep half of it. The more, it's always good to keep half of your equity high on the day. If you're up 2 grand, keep 1,000. If you're up 5 grand, keep 2,500. As those significant profits get higher, keep a larger percentage of it. We're talking going up from keeping half to keeping 2/3 to what John just mentioned, keep 80%. I would have loved to have seen Karis lock in a $8,000 winning day yesterday. That would have been a $30,000 3-day win streak.
3 days.
Anyways, they're still on a $24,000 3-day win streak. Not in the markets right now since I turned my chair around. But shout out to you, Karis. I'm happy with that. That's good stuff. On the opposite end of the spectrum, going from shout outs to shoulder taps, pretty bummed out about this. I was chatting with Brett and our other risk managers today about a guy, Desmond, who we had called up to a live account last week. Desmond had been lights out in their XFA. Lights out. Phenomenal trading. And I came in this morning, sign in, pull up the platforms. Desmond's down 3,000 today. It's something I've seen every single day over the last 4 days. Down over 3,000, hitting that daily loss limit in their live funded account. They're on a 4-day losing streak for almost $13,000. Now, Desmond got transferred from from an XFA to a live account with a pretty hearty, healthy account balance. They took 50% of that during that transition. They were just like they were about 30 grand, call it 30 grand. They took half as a payout. They've been bleeding out the other half. And Desmond, sadly, has got like $1,700 left in his account. I'm going to talk about these kind of traders to make examples of them and examples for everybody who's watching of what not to do. Desmond had 30K, took 15. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with my ear today. All right, we're going to go the rest of the show with one ear pod in. I don't know what happened there.
I only use one anyway.
All right, I can still hear you. Now I'm really like a Fed. I talked about it before. I got the mustache. I got the earpiece. Yeah, Desmond, it's a bummer. He was trading so well in his XFA, gets transferred to a live account, cuts his account balance in half because he takes a payout. Good on you for taking the payout, Desmond. But for someone who, and we didn't see this in the XFA, he wasn't hitting his daily loss limit. He was not, he didn't have many losing days. But, to come into a live account and go, full throttle, losing 3,000, and now to only have $1,700 left in your account after four losing days, that's a position I don't want anybody to be in. So for everybody out there watching, say a prayer for Desmond. He could turn it around, but he's going to have to make big changes. He can't trade the size that he's been trading. He doesn't have a $3,000 daily loss limit anymore. He's got $1,700 left in the account. For someone like that, I'd say you gotta trim your loss limit. Don't give yourself just one swing at the plate. Don't risk $1,700 tomorrow, Desmond. I'd say don't risk more than $500. Go to one lots. At $500 risk on the day, you're giving yourself three swings at the plate. We use these sports analogies all the time. So don't risk it all tomorrow, Desmond. You've got good stuff. That's why we called you up to live. But let's make some adjustments and make sure we stay in this live account. I want to see you last, through the end of the week and into the coming weeks as well. That's my spiel on Desmond.
We're all rooting for Desmond right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you notice at the top of the chart, there is a link where you can ask me questions at noon for group coaching. JD and I are going to be there. Click on that and put your questions in there. I don't know everything. Nobody does, but I certainly appreciate you asking those questions and having the opportunity to answer. All right, Mick, go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that plug, John. And then speaking of submissions of questions and stuff like that, tomorrow it's going to be our second time doing the rapid tap for the shoulder tap segment. So going forward on Fridays, instead of featuring our hot traders or doing shoulder taps for our live traders that need to be making some adjustments to what they're doing, we're going to be analyzing people's trades. Now, we've got a long list of people that have submitted their accounts to us for review. So tomorrow, John and I are going to be going through a bunch of people. We're going to do it quickly. We're going to look at accounts. We're going to talk about where we see areas for improvement, things that we see that we like, that you want to continue doing. But we're going to do that tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll be able to cover a lot more traders tomorrow when we do that. Let's dive into the cards. I want to pull up a card. Yeah, let's do Diego. Diego's in an XFA. Haven't been called up to live just yet, but we've got eyes on Diego, and this could be a today thing. Trading out of Costa Rica. I recently had a not so serious conversation with my wife about potentially moving there. Costa Rica is a nice place. I haven't been, but I hear it's very good, and there's nice tax incentives there. Diego, XFA, trading the S&Ps, average daily P&L, $565. Awesome winning trade percentage, awesome winning day percentage. They're making 10 trades per day. Risk reward here needs to improve. They're risking $360 on their trades, but they're only taking down $190. So we need to reverse that, Diego. You're at a 1-2. We need to go 2-1. Make some adjustments there, but it's sustainable because they're just right so damn often.
Right.
I think that risk reward is we've talked about him a number of days because he's been in the XFA for 21 days, and we kind of huddle at the end of the day and talk about certain individuals. And Diego's been one of them. Diego, if you can make a little tweak to that, what you're risking on your trades versus what you're taking down on the trades, and you're right this much of the time, 79%. You're going to get called up, and you're going to probably kick some ass in the live account.
There's a good example of here's one day when he was right 55% of the time and ended up losing $500 on that day. If your reward over risk is the other way, that's going to end up being a profitable day. We understand it's more difficult to do than it is to say, but it's something just to kind of think about and work towards, Diego. But it's hard to complain about a profitable trader.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I'm very nitpicky here on this segment. He is a profitable trader. That's why we've had our eyes on him. 21 days, it's good stuff. I will say, John, you mentioned that $500 losing day. One thing I like here is, I'll start with the thing I don't like. there's a lot of daily loss limit days. They hit the $3,000 daily loss limit, but not every single losing day is a daily loss limit hit, which is a good thing. Feel like I talk about that a lot. There's a lot of traders that, every time they have a losing day, it's a daily loss limit hit. Not Diego, which is a good thing. So, I don't have too much else to share here on Diego. A profitable trader, like you said, John. They've got a good eye for their entry. The 79% winning trades tells me that Diego's got his entries pegged really well. We talk about framing out. Yeah. I mean, and only 10 trades a day. Those hold times, what were they? About 10 minutes? Oh, actually, hold times aren't that great. Another thing, reverse the hold times. He's being more patient with his losing trades than the winning trades, spending 23 minutes in winning trades and a little over an hour, about an hour in the losing trades.
For losses.
So, and like we've said before, those losing trades, hold times, we don't know based off the trade reports if they're spending a good chunk of that 1 hour, if it's profitable and then ends up turning, negative. In the later hours, the sunset of those trades. So, Diego, good stuff. Make a couple tweaks. We'll get you called up to live, have you in our live prop account with all the other big boys and girls. So just wanted to share this. Good stuff.
All right. Let's go to the next card. We might get through all three of them today.
Maybe. I'm looking at the time here. Let's get John G up. Let's get John up. John G. I had a roommate in college who was John G. Don't talk to him anymore, though. He became not so nice of a guy. All right, John. Good stuff here out of John. He's trading a lot of asset classes, equities, energies, metals. Trading out of New Hyde Park, New York. Yeah. Profitable trader as well. And John's been he got transferred to live. He got called up yesterday. They took 16 days in the XFA to get called up. There's some stuff to talk about here, though. They're only right half the time on their trades, but they're stringing together 63% winning days. Risk reward a little bit better than 1-to-1. Not much, though. Not much. But yeah, they're taking down $670 per contract on the winning trades, with only risking $440 on the losing trades. They put up some big winning days. This is one of the people that did not get cut to pieces during that CPI earlier this week, John. They actually made 12,500 on the CPI. I wonder if they were long or short that day. Definitely short.
Well, I would have to say it probably wasn't on the release, because the winning trade durations on that day were 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Hour 25 on that. But that is something to brag about, being up 12,500 on that day. More bragging rights. They've got a lot of big days. I wouldn't really classify John as a big swinger, but they do, they're trading size, so they've got some, bigger P&Ls. Some of the other notable winning days here: up 4,500, up 9,600, 3,100, up 2,400. But and I don't say big. I don't say they're a big swinger, because I also see, there's a $230 winning day, which is always nice for me. And I've talked about this before, but it's a breath of fresh air. Someone who can take down $12,500 in a day, who also accepts a $230 winning day. They're taking what the market gives them. That's how I read it. And I really like that, because I always say no to the people who are, the big swingers that are just either making a bunch of money or losing a bunch of money in a single day.
And it doesn't look like he's trading big size here. I mean, he usually made $1,600 on a day with 5 trades, 10 contracts. That's 5 entries on 1 lots. The biggest he could have been was a 5 lot.
Yeah, this is a colorful trade report. There's a lot of variety here. There's trading days where there's size. So John puts the pedal down sometimes, but he also trades small other times. There's that losing day on February 9th. They lost 3,000, hit the daily loss limit, but they were trading 1 lots. they didn't have a winning trade that day, but they were in those losing trades on average for about 22 minutes. So
Right.
I like this. I like to see variety. It tells me that John is a nimble trader. They put the pedal down sometimes, they pump the brakes other times. So I like this. That's why we called them up to live. And big picture, they're a profitable trader. They're a good trader. So I hope he can bring this stuff to the live account and continue taking money out of the markets.
John G, we like you. Just because Mick knows a John G that he doesn't like doesn't mean we don't like you. Mick, what do you think of John H's?
John H's. John H's are my favorite people. John H's are my favorite people. Speaking of favorite people, one card that we're not going to get to today that I'll follow up with tomorrow, trader out of a town called Fontana. And Fontana, Wisconsin is a special place for John H. and I, Hogue. One of our favorite local watering holes, a place we've caused a little bit of chaos, I would imagine, over our years spending there.
Probably.
But I was putting the cards together, and I know we're not going to get to them, but I thought about you. I was like, I can't wait to talk about this guy who's trading out of Fontana, because Fontana, Wisconsin has Charles by the Sea, Chuck's. One of our favorite restaurants and bars, and just an overall good place for people to socialize at.
A little trivia about Chuck's. Terry Duffy, the CEO of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, was once a bartender there.
That's right. Actually, it's never mind. But yeah, Terry Duffy was a bartender at Chuck's, and he's now the big cheese of the CME group. It's interesting, all the jobs people have and where they can rise to with hard work, dedication, and just some smarts. I've heard nothing but good things about Terry Duffy.
Well, I know. We'll look forward to hearing more about Jared from Fontana, California tomorrow. Mick, thanks again for joining us. I always love this segment. I think everybody gets so much out of having you here, your knowledge and experience. And we'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the, what are we calling it? Rapid Fire?
Rapid Fire tomorrow. John, I look forward to talking about him tomorrow with you, and I look forward to going to Chuck's with you sometime, hopefully in the near future. Spring is just right around the corner. We'll get out for a boat ride, go have some transfusions.
We should be doing
over there. For anybody watching, if you enjoy this shoulder tap segment, you love John, if you like me, do give us a like, but also, if you don't mind and you're so inclined, check out the Trustpilot and give us a Trustpilot review. We put a lot of work in trying to help our traders, and if you are appreciative, if you like the Tradertainment, go to Trustpilot, give us a review. Hopefully, it's a nice one. Do be nice with us, and I hope you all have a good day. I look forward to Rapid Fire tomorrow with you, and John, I hope you have a good one.